Now? I guess we started. Okay, now we're starting. Welcome back to DYC Podcast. I am your host for the evening or afternoon or whenever you're listening to this, Daniel Palmer at dpalm66. With me, as always, is Chad Floyd. What up, Chad?
Top of the morning or afternoon or whenever. I am just hanging out. Just got back to the beautiful town of Athens, Georgia. I had a weekend in North Carolina. Saw the folks. Nobody in the state hates me, either still or anymore or whatever. Palmer, what'd you get into this weekend?
I laid low. I recovered from the weddings I was at last weekend. I recovered from the Atlanta trip. Did some work around the house. Nice little weekend. Nice little boring old person weekend.
So how far in the new Batman game are you?
We're going to do this for 2 seconds, and I'm going to complain for 2 seconds. It deleted a save on me.
Oh.
I went to bed last night feeling pretty good about myself. Woke up this morning, no save. So it's been a day of juggling NFL games and talking myself out of going back into Batman until they release a patch. But thanks for bringing that up. I now want to cry a little. So we're not going to talk SEC football today, mostly because we got to avoid Georgia this past weekend. And we're going to talk about the upcoming greatest time of year, NBA basketball. The season's going to start tomorrow, Tuesday. And Chad's going to join me as we take a little loop around the league, look at some of these over-unders they've got out for Vegas. Chad, what is the one thing you're looking forward to this basketball season?
Well, the fact that it's not football season, this was the best football week of the year for me because my teams went a combined 1-0, assuming Georgia and the Ravens beat the Buys. I'm looking forward to having all the stars back healthy. I mean, we hadn't gotten to see Derrick Rose play in almost 18 months.
That's true.
Pretty much short of Westbrook and Kobe, there's no real health question marks among the star players, and there's a couple interesting young teams like New Orleans and Detroit. You have no idea what they're going to do, but it's just going to be a fun season, I think.
Good. Hey, I'm really excited for the fact that, like you said, D Rose is back. This is a huge deal. If you've never seen him live, you get a chance this off the season, go see the Bulls live. He's something to see in person. And I'm really excited to see what happens out west. Because without the Kobe, without Mamba out in L.A., and say what you about Dwight Howard, L.A.'s defense was better last year with him on the court. And him not being on the court and them proving nowhere else defensively, it's going to inform my over-under. Let's just put it that way. So
there's 6 or 7 teams out west that could seriously contend for the title.
Oh, easily. All right, so let's dive right in. We're going to start with the Eastern Conference, go alphabetically down it. And we're going to start with my favorite basketball team on the planet, my hometown Atlanta Hawks. Chad, the line's at 39.5. What do you see? Oh, God.
I see why you did it alphabetically now.
Get him out of the way. Let's talk about him now. Let's move forward.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Josh Smith, as hard-headed and annoying of a basketball player as he was to watch, was y'all's best player last year. Y'all don't have him anymore.
That's true.
I like Paul Millsap. I like that pickup. Is a good contract, good short contract. I think, 2 years at $19 million?
Great value. His agent apparently way overvalued him, and we got a steal. It was an absolute steal.
Yeah, that was a nice coup for y'all. Lou Williams comes back, but Lou Williams starting at 2 guard with Jeff Teague makes the smallest backcourt in NBA history.
You watch your mouth about Lou Williams, okay? It's a local boy.
I know, Gwinnett County.
Yes,
North
sir.
Gwinnett? East? What Gwinnett do we know?
I forget, but a great cameo at Bow Wow's. If you ever watch Bow Wow's MTV Cribs, it's a Lou Williams cameo. It's hilarious.
Very nice. My buddy Mitchell tells stories about getting balled up by Lou Williams in high school. But I digress. I've got Atlanta under 39.5 wins this year for the simple fact that Al Horford's not a number one guy on a good team. They're going to continue to be mired in basketball mediocrity, which as a non-Hawks fan living in a Hawks community, I love. I've got the under on them. What do you got?
Okay, so I've got 2 caveats here. One, this is a team that's built to trade. Danny Ferry, I believe in Danny Ferry. He got rid of Marvin Williams and Joe Johnson in the span of a week. So anything he wants to do, I'm pretty much on board with. That said, if we keep this team intact by the trade deadline or trading some pieces of draft picks, I could see the over. But if you see Danny Ferry try to blow it up, it's definitely going to be a crash and burn situation. I'm going to gamble that Danny Ferry likes the pieces he's got. We've seen recently with the new CBA a lot more teams not willing to take a rental of a decent player for a one-season little cap room. I say we're going to get the over just because I like the new coaching staff. I actually am the one guy who watches preseason basketball. I like the ball movement. I like the fact that Josh isn't on the floor. I'm a huge Josh guy. I thought he spread the floor defensively and was able to do a lot of things for the team out there. But I just think that this is a better basketball team than 39 wins. Bet me for the over. Okay, number 2. Oh, this is actually kind of fun. Boston.
This is so much more fun than the NFL one. I love the NBA, and I'm so excited about the NBA.
I'm giddy.
Boston. So Rajon Rondo, I guess, is another star whose injury situation we don't really know.
Oh, he's not playing until I think at least February, and that's if they're in contention. Or if they're not, who knows what they're playing.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're in contention, what the hell are they in contention for?
That's a great point.
I mean, if they're in contention for anything, it's going to be the number 1 draft pick. Their over-under is at 28.5. I've got to bang the under on that. If Jeff Green's your best player for most of the season, that didn't even work for Georgetown. I'm going to have to bang the under here.
I'm going to join you banging the under. Brad Stevens is a great college coach. We'll see how he translates to the NBA. This is not the season that makes or breaks his career. I think the Boston Celtics brass realize that this is going to be a rebuilding year or maybe 2 years. I think it's going to be interesting to see when Rondo comes back. If he's healthy, is there a market for him? Will they try to move him to make some pieces in the future? I think we're agreed there on the under. Let's move forward to some would say the most exciting offseason team, the on-paper winners of the offseason, the Brooklyn Nets. Chad Floyd, the numbers of 52, that's a lot of wins. What do you say?
That is a lot of wins, and I was just automatically assuming we were going to Charlotte next just because I'm used to scrolling through the NBA 2K menus, and now that Brooklyn's up there, I guess I need to go ahead and get 2K14. Obviously, Brooklyn picked up KG and Paul Pierce. That just makes things interesting because they're a team that could threaten for the championship, or they're a team that could just have an epic flameout. If Jason Kidd were, if KG and Pierce were the first acquisitions, Jason Kidd would be the backup point guard and not the coach. I think 52 is a great number for them. I've got a push on that, and I may or may not have them winning the division at 52.
Wait a second. I need you to give me a number. Come on. Over under 52. Don't push me. Come on.
Aren't you the guy that just qualified your pick on the Hawks?
No. I called the over. Give me a pick here.
Oh, Jesus. 52 is a square number. I could call a push.
You're right. It's a good number. You probably could in some places, but I'm going to call you out. As your former roommate and podcast partner, I'm calling you out. I need a number. Over under. All
right. I'm going to assume KG's rejuvenated and Paul Pierce doesn't miss many games. I'll take the slight over.
Cool. See? Don't do that. All right. So what I think you're right. I think that this is going to be a well-managed team. I think that if you put KG and Paul Pierce in the kind of pitch count you've seen Tim Duncan on, you can see a lot of health out of this team. I just think that they don't need 52 wins to secure whatever they are in the East. I think they're a 3 seed, maybe a 2 seed. I think down the stretch they'll probably have to wind it down and save the guys for the playoffs. I'm taking the slight under, just saying that they're going to be in a position in that division to where they won't need to push at the end.
Yeah, I agree with the 3 seed maybe pushing. But I don't think they'll push for home field advantage or home court advantage. I think we'll get to that team in a couple picks here.
Oh, we'll get there. Speaking of teams that aren't very good at basketball, we weren't doing that actually. I'm just a ham-fisted segue to the Charlotte Bobcat Hornets. Bob Hornets. Hornet Cats. Whatever you want to call them. Hornet Cats. Chad Floyd, this is the team you cheer for. So I want to remind everyone, when he mocks me as a Hawks fan, this man is a Horcats fan. Charlotte Horcats, who you got? Over under 26.5 wins.
See, here's the thing. I'm afraid they're going to go over.
So am I.
And it's like the Hawks, except more pathetic because they actually tried to bottom out and failed at that. Picking up Al Jefferson is the biggest move in franchise history, and he's going to be, statistically, he's going to be the best center in the league on offense, at least. He's not going to do a damn thing on defense. But I'm going to take the slight under because I just hope it's way under so we can, get in the Wiggins sweepstakes. But I've got a bad feeling it'll be over. But I'm going to take the under just because they don't have the talent to win 27 games. What do you think?
I think this year is a year you don't need talent to win 27 games. You look at the East, there's a lot of teams that are here to bottom. They're openly bottoming out. The Sixers, who we'll get to, and teams that we'll get to, obviously. But these are teams that aren't throwing out products that are built to win. I'm going to join you in the under. We're going to agree here in Boston. I think this is a team where it's going to get real bad. It's going to be really fun. But you know what? To be said, there'll be cheap tickets in Charlotte. So that's something to look forward to if you ever make your way up there for a weekend. All right, next up, Chicago Bulls and the returning Derrick Rose. bringing an offensive spark to one of the best defensive teams we've seen in recent memory. Thanks, Tom Thibodeau, for giving me something to watch. The numbers at 56.5. Chad Floyd, what do you got?
This is my team to take home court advantage in the East. I've got them over. I've got them over by a couple of games, and I would actually probably comfortably put money on the over.
Wow.
I just have a good feeling about them. I think we finally established that Jimmy Butler is better than Duke's proud alum, Luol Deng.
Yes.
And the scary thing is they have enough young guys and draft picks to where they could pick up and I hate to just go right from Bill Simmons, but a Kevin Love or an Al Horford during the season. And that could make things super interesting to the point where they could threaten the Heat. But I've got them over. I think they're going to be the beast of the East for the regular season.
I agree with you on most of those points. One, the Horford thing, Danny Ferry's made it very clear that the one untouchable piece on the Sox roster is Al Horford. Thank God and thank Danny Ferry. I agree with you on the over. Derrick Rose has something to prove. I don't think he's 2 nights off. If you watch preseason like I did, because you're a basketball junkie, he's back. Like, the first half's back. The finishing flourish is back. The kid he looks as healthy as he can be.
And now he hits threes.
And now he hits threes. Like, that was one thing I was hoping. I was like, I hope he added something this 2 years off, or a year and a half off. And he did. It looks great. Let's move on down the line. The Cleveland Cavaliers, home of my favorite to-watch player in the NBA, non-LeBron division right now, Kyrie Irving. What do you
I thought you were saying Verjao.
Oh, I love the hair, not the play. Cleveland. Cleveland's number is steady at 40, which is a pretty, that's a little under 500 record. What do you see out of them?
That's ambitious for Cleveland, man. They won 24 games last year.
Yeah.
They picked up Andrew Bynum, but I would set his over-under at 24 games played this year. I mean, he's have we heard he's healthy? I don't think so. Anthony Bennett, Tristan Thompson, Verjao, Bynum. I mean, they got so many good young bigs, and I hate to throw Verjao in that, but I just accidentally did.
He is. I mean, he's good.
He's not still young.
He's younger. He's youngish.
Even UNC's own Tyler Zeller showed some flashes last year.
Stop it.
Anyway, Irving is still basically doing it by himself on the perimeter. I've got to bang the under here. I don't see this being more than a 36, 37 win team.
See, and that's where I disagree with you. Last year we saw the 24 wins. We also saw that without the majority of the season without Andy Verjao. I'm assuming between Verjao and Bynum, we get a full season out of somebody. So we have somebody down low who can do the dirty work, who can rebound, who can get the putbacks, who can finish.
Ambitious.
I'm an ambitious type of guy. I'm taking the over. Cleveland Cavaliers prove me right.
What position do you have Anthony Bennett playing?
I don't. I have him playing. Is he a rotation guy, I think? He's not a starter. Not at least at first. Not from what I've seen.
As the number 1 overall pick?
Well, it was a weak draft. You and I have talked about how weak that draft was.
That's not good, Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Relax. Let's not pile on Cleveland. God's done enough. Next up, the most poorly – that's not true. A very poorly run team, the Detroit Pistons. Their over-under is steady, also at 40. Same division. Chad Floyd, what do you got?
I like them better than Cleveland. They have Greg Monroe's my favorite high post big in the NBA right now. Andre Drummond could be an absolute monster. Josh Smith is not a 3, but they're going to try to play him at the 3, and that's going to be fun to watch.
That'll go well.
See, this team's going to be just wildly entertaining to watch. I'm cheering for our Georgia boy KCP to take the number 2 job. And then Brandon Jennings randomly is the point guard with Chauncey Billups backing him up. They have talent and depth at every position. I'm going to bang the over here. I think they're a 43-win team.
That's great. So I want you to realize that in your world here, Brandon Jennings, Josh Smith, and the man who named himself Mr. Big Shot but hasn't hit a big shot in a very long time and is clocking in, opening the season at 37 years of age, Chauncey Billups. Are there enough basketballs in the NBA for the 3 of them to be on the court at the same time?
Probably not.
Okay, cool. So my second point is I've seen the Josh Smith experience. I've seen him try to play on the wing. Ladies and gentlemen, spacing is going to be an issue with this team. On paper, like you said, fun team to watch, up and down the court. In action, I don't think there's enough defense. Brandon Jennings hasn't played defense yet in the NBA. Josh Smith's a stopper, but if you're playing the 3, he's going to be digging up your LeBrons and pretty much getting abused by your top of the line wing players. And one on offense, we've seen Josh not like to move without the ball a whole lot. I don't think I'm telling any secrets here by saying that. So to tell me that Josh is going to flourish as a 3, that's your if for your over. I feel that's a big if. I'm banging the under.
Yeah, I mean, spacing issues are going to be an issue on offense. That's why I think it's big that if KCP can develop NBA range and turn Josh into strictly a slasher, that's going to help because Monroe can play the high post, but Drummond's going to be a monster for them.
You're assuming a lot out of those people that I've seen.
I know I am, but it's fun to do that.
Exactly. That's why we play the game. That's why exactly. Pacers going pace at 55.5. What you got?
Man, I got to take the under on this. I think they overachieved a little bit last year. I think Danny Granger coming back causes problems because this was a Paul George, Danny Granger team. It became a Paul George, David West, and Lance Stevenson team. I'm not crazy about their point guard play still. I'm going to take the slight under because the Bulls only won 45 without Derrick Rose last year. They're going to take some of those wins.
That's true. They're going to take some of those wins. But I think the front five, the five they're putting out, if you get the Roy Hibbert we saw in the playoffs, if we get him for 60 games, they're winning the 60 games. Again, there are a lot of bad teams in the East that are going to be tanking. I don't think the Danny Granger thing's as big a problem as you think it is. I think that best case scenario, he comes in and he fits the offense. Worst case scenario, he's still Danny Granger and is a valuable trade piece come February. For somebody. I think that he's not. I don't think George Hill. I'm not as down on George Hill as you are. But if you can upgrade your one spot by trading Danny Granger and moving Lance Stevenson to the 3 and starting it that way, I think this is a team that's built to win a lot of games. Luis Scola is your backup power forward, which is a huge upgrade.
That's an upgrade from Tyler Hansbrough.
Good Lord, is it? And even Tyler would agree. I'm taking the over just on the, like I said, the comparative weakness of the conference and the things I think I see out of the future of Indiana.
I just thought of a trade that could help Indiana.
We're doing a trade podcast in the future. I promise. I promise. We'll do
a good one there.
A hypothetical trade podcast. Write it down.
All right, writing it down as we speak.
Excellent. So as you write that down, let's talk about the beasts, the champs, back-to-backs, Miami Heat. Over-under number is set at 61.5. Chad Floyd, what do you have?
I even hear your dog barking, saluting the champs.
He salutes. He respects LeBron and company.
As well he should. I put an up arrow for teams I thought I'd take the under on and a down arrow for teams I thought I'd take the under on. For Miami, I have a confusing vertical line with no arrows either way. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to signify. I already told y'all that I thought the Bulls were going to win in the 64-66 range.
You did?
I think the Heat are right below that at about 61-62, which is unfortunately where the over-under is. I'll take the slide over because LeBron once won 66 with
we know. Yeah.
Sasha Pavlovic, Eric Snow, Drew Gooden.
It wasn't pretty at all.
He did that.
He did that. That's very true. So you're taking the over?
Yes, very slightly.
You just talked me. I took the under, so I was like, maybe these guys coast. Maybe things are the same.
Bosh or Wade could get hurt.
Yeah, but I look at what they lost last year, and it's really Mike Miller. Like I'm looking at this roster. I went to the roster just so I can see it for myself. You got Roger Mason Jr. on a great value, a veteran value. Beasley's not going to play. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get cut eventually. This is a team that can. The thing about it is, once you put LeBron at the 4 and you roll Bosh to the 5, you create so many matchup problems just there. And that's what they've shown the ability to do. They'll play you big. They'll play you small. If Haslam and Chris Anthony are your energy guys off the bench, or Chris Anderson, excuse me, you're doing good things.
And then you have the X factor of Greg Oden.
I mean, look, I'm not talking. Greg Oden will not be. That's the first and last time you mentioned Greg Oden today. I will say this. This is a great squad. This is a great team. They've gotten better every year. I don't see why it would stop now. Norris Cole and Mario Chalmers both grew as guards last year. I got to take the over. I don't like it, but I'm taking the over. God, it hurt me to do that. Let's go back to the East. Oh, the Milwaukee Bucks. Poor beleaguered Milwaukee Bucks. 28.5 is the number. Chad Floyd, what do you got?
28.5 is the number, and unfortunately their decrepit old owner is pushing for a playoff spot, so they could actually be a buyer at the deadline for some reason, and I'm going to take the over. I don't know how they get there, but Larry Sanders is exciting to watch. John Henson is Larry Sanders Jr. I'm going to end this screen share.
Our audio listeners can't see your screen share, right? You know that, right?
I know. Well, it was a welcome Greg Oden to the Heat, which I don't know why. I was just feeling it. Yeah, I'm going to take the slight over on the Bucks because their owner's insane.
Okay, so you and I read and listen to the same NBA people because I feel the same way. They shouldn't be an over team. This is a team that should gut it. You should gut everything. But they brought on OJ Mayo. Like they brought on Zaza at 5.2. Like
they
outbid 5.2 a year for Zaza. I love Zaza. I'm a Hawks fan. 5.2 a year. No.
What's the name of his restaurant in Atlanta?
I forget. I have no. First of all, didn't know he had one. Second of all, that's my next stop when I get back home. I'll take the over 2 just on the psychosis of the owner. Next up for us is the New York Knickerbockers fighting for relevance yet again. Last year, saw some flashes. This is a team that's still hoping Amari Stoudemire's knees exist. 49.5. Chad Floyd, what do you say?
So much has to go right for this team to be really good. Raymond Felton has to not be fat. J.R. Smith has to not be crazy. Carmelo Anthony has to be good Carmelo Anthony. Amari Stoudemire has to have 2 knees. Tyson Chandler has to be healthy. Andrea Bargnani has to do something. I just don't believe in this team at all. I've got the under. I've got them fighting. I mean, they'll try to hang in there for a top 4 seed. They won't get it. I've got them on a solid under at like 46, 47 wins.
Okay. I had them just over at 50. I had them just ending at 50. For the same reasons you did. The only reason I gave them the slight nudge is you got Carmelo in a year where he's gunning for free agency. And I know sometimes people say contract years don't matter. When he's the only offense that you can rely on every night, contract years matter. You're hoping for a sane J.R. Smith, which good luck, kids. He just got paid. You're hoping for a healthy Tyson Chandler, which I think was one of the most underreported storylines last year. The fact that Tyson Chandler just didn't look healthy. Like I said, I'm taking the over on the strength of Carmelo Anthony and on the strength of a lot of bad teams in that division, but I don't like it to that much.
I think it's a lot like Detroit, though, where Melo's best fit is a 4, at least with the personnel around him, and he's going to have to play the 3 just based on
he's going to have to play the 3 and the 2. Like, he's going to have to play – he's going to play a lot of positions for this team because this team, for all the hype around them, I don't think they've really built a team that's built for Carmelo Anthony.
No.
Yeah. All right, let's go south to the craziest state in the union, Florida. Orlando Magic, brought to you by Disney and the Mouse. 23.5. Chad Floyd, what do you say?
They won 20 last year. I don't really see that they're markedly better. I like Oladipo the pick. I don't like Oladipo the point guard. I like the young pieces they got for Jesus, I can't even think of the dude's name. For Dwight Howard, that guy.
We've all forgotten about that. Just get them off our minds. That's great. I love it.
I think they're really playing Oladipo at the point so they can try to add one more All-Star caliber piece in next year's draft. So I've got them at the slight under just because I think the team's development is going to be stunted by a rookie head coach and by ownership wanting to stun them for one more year.
Okay, I agree for the reasons you said, but I'm going to go ahead and just correct you here. Victor Oladipo is going to be great. Victor Oladipo is going to be a lockdown. He knows what he is.
As a team, though.
He's not one of those guys who doesn't know what he is, though. He's going to come in and play hard-nosed offense and play lights-out defense in the East. Slowly and quietly has amassed some pretty good point guards in the East. Kyrie Irving, John Wall, Derrick Rose. That's a murderer's row of point guards. So you're telling me that Oladipo has no value? I mean, maybe he's not the best offensively. I think defensively he's what keeps Orlando in games against those dynamic point guards. But I agree with you. I think they probably win 22 or 21 games. I think it's a close over-under. But that's why these guys do this in Vegas. They set the numbers because they're very good at it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I thought Oladipo was the best player in the draft. I just don't think he's a point guard by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. Okay, let's finish up the East with Philadelphia, the 76ers, the team where I currently reside, and the team that's admitted they're not going to play Nerlens Noel 1 second this year, even if he's healthy. So, Chad Floyd, what do you say? The number's at 16.5.
Is that higher or lower than the number of Sixers games you plan to attend this year?
There are 41 home games. I've highlighted 30, and I plan to spend no more than like a 200 total dollars.
I like that. That's well played. That's well played. I mean, in Philly, they've got to let you bring a flask in, too, to watch this. I mean, Thaddeus Young might be the best player on that team.
I'm laughing because it's true. I'm only laughing.
Having said that, I think Evan Turner's going to get to be on the ball more. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think
is that a good or bad thing?
But I think out of spite, they win more than 16 games and possibly don't even finish last place in their division because they're not much worse than the Celtics. And I think they somehow miss out on the top pick, and they do have New Orleans pick though, so that works in their favor.
Yeah,
but
they've stockpiled. What they've done, they built themselves up to be very good in 2 years.
Yeah, or maybe like 5 years.
They're going to be good eventually. How about that?
Sometime. I don't think it's going to be this year, but I think they are better than 16.5 wins. What do you got?
Chad Floyd, I want to reiterate my plan for Philadelphia. I hope they don't win 16 games so I can get really cheap tickets. I have a roster at my desk at work with highlighted games that people don't know about, like not the big teams, not your Miamis, but like your Washington so I can watch John Wall, and your Cleveland so I can watch Kyrie Irving. Like, I've got teams circled that I know that I can get cheap tickets to because this team's going to be terrible. Along those same lines, the Flyers are terrible. I've already bought two game tickets. Really excited for it. I'm going to benefit. They're going to finish under 16.5. This is an ownership group and a management group that's openly tanking. As opposed to Boston, where we think they're tanking, we're pretty sure they're tanking. This Philadelphia group says they're not going to play the number 1 pick no matter what. And that and they didn't hire a coach for like 10 weeks after the draft. Like, this is a team this is a stopgap coach. This is a team it's pretty much in their fan base. This is what we got. Opening night is they're retiring Allen Iverson's number. Retiring officially. They can have a full house for opening night. I kid you not.
How many women that Iverson has slept with will be in attendance on opening night?
That's unfair, and I won't want you to slander my favorite basketball player of all time. Let's move forward before I get too mad. Toronto Raptors, the silliest mascot still in the league. 36 wins. Chad Floyd, what do you say?
I'm on my notebook paper where I had the up and down arrows. I just have whatever I had initially marked out.
Oh.
So I don't know what that means either. The Vasilunius guy, he could be Dirkish, or he could just be the Euro flameout that we have grown used to since Dirk got into the league.
That's not fair.
It's really not fair. I have this whole division besides Brooklyn at under, well, and Philly too. But I've got Toronto at under because I'm not a believer in Rudy Gay. I used to be a huge Rudy Gay fan just because he was the underrated best player to play with on NBA 2K14 because he could do it all, or on any of the 2K series. I like the pieces they have, but I just don't see cohesion there. I've got under 36 because 36 is a lot of wins for a team that has historically sucked.
Tower Hansborough's rotation guy, under. I mean, there you go. There's my reason. That's it. Like, you look at this roster, it's ugly. It's an ugly roster. So, yeah, I'll take the under there, happily. The last team on our list for the Eastern Conference, the Washington, we should be called the Bullets Wizards, 38.5. There's an interesting number. When you see that number, what do you think, Chad?
Well, the 38.5, I had some trouble with it. Then they made a great move to pick up Marcin Gortat, which, I mean, I don't really know if losing a mid-first-round pick is going to hurt as bad as losing a lottery pick, which I don't think the Warriors were in position to do this year. I thought they were an 8 seed anyway. So I like this pick. I mean, if John Wall's healthy, if Brad Beal takes the next step, they've got a couple solid bigs, and they've got 3 threes that they're paying way too much money for. But one of them's got to emerge, either Webster or Ariza or Otto Porter Jr. I like them for the over, and I like them for the 7 or 8 seed in the East. What you got?
I like watching John Wall and Bradley Beal play basketball together.
Yeah.
And that's just as a basketball fan, that's a huge thing for me. I like Ariza as a stopper at the 3. Gortat, like you said, was a huge pickup. And I like the rotation you're going to have at the 4 with Nene, Trevor Booker, and Al Harrington. If Jan Vesely gets involved, heaven help him. I mean, someone got hurt, but
the highlight of Jan Vesely's career was draft night. I don't think he's ever going to top that.
Why would you want to top that? It was a great night.
This is also true.
What did you take the over?
I took the over.
I'm taking the over too. Also because, little underrated, the owner's getting old. And he wants to win. And he's a beloved owner, and I think these guys are going to want to win for him.